Well, welcome back to Angry Badger Minis. We were live streaming just a little bit ago, but I looked up and realized that for the 30 some odd minutes that I was streaming, I had muted myself. And so just to catch you up, we're doing another box of the Dark Angels Ravenwing box set, and essentially what I had done is I was able to get 7 bikes completely clipped, other than the little detail parts here that I'm clipping right now, in about, I'd guesstimate to say about 24 minutes, because I was also showing other things during that time frame. But we're well on our way here, and yeah, so I was talking for 30 minutes and had no idea, but things happen. These things happen. Oh, my apologies. We had a shoulder pad try to make a run for it. You know how it goes. So let's see here. We're clipping off right now. I'm clipping off all these little details that go on the fenders and things like that. But man, I was having a good time talking to myself. I'm sitting here talking about the Grey Knights, the Emperor, all kinds of stuff. And I just happened to look up and realize, hey, I'm muted. But I guess that's how it goes sometimes. I don't know. I went ahead and deleted the video though. There's no point. I mean, it was me clipping stuff, and then it was music, I'm sure, but you could just, I'm over here with my hands doing stuff, and I look like I'm just, what do I do? What do I do? So it's kind of funny to me. But we're learning. We're getting there. And one of the things that I'm doing is I'm streaming with my phone, and I have it says that the stream health is excellent, which is great to hear. And I'm also watching on YouTube, so there's about a 5-second delay, I think, something like that. And it's I don't know, it's what am I trying to say? Well, I forgot. I got to reading, and my dog is back here making noise and kind of distracted me. What the heck was I saying? Well, I guess it wasn't overly important. But anyway, yeah, we're making some serious progress. I'll go ahead and stop here since I wanted to find out how long it would take for me to strip all those. And like I said, it took about 30 minutes. But here's where we stand right now. If you can see this. Let's see here. So this is 4 or 6. 1, 2. I think this is 4 Dark Vengeance box sets of bikers, and then 1 Ravenwing Battle Force set of bikes. And there's an attack bike that I have finished as well. Now the weapons are sitting up here on the shelf. I'll magnetize those later. And of course 1 land speeder that I'll be magnetizing as well, so that it can have the missile pods and stuff as well. We've got Samuel, Master of the Ravenwing. Fine cast model. Like I said, not entirely happy with that. I didn't realize it was, maybe I didn't know how bad fine cast was back in the day when I bought it. And then of course we have the Vengeance, or whatever the heck else it's called when you put the plasma cannons on. I used to be so well versed in 40K, it was ridiculous, and now I feel like a complete noob. Can't remember some things. I was watching a video today. Gosh, what were their names? I think it's called Tabletop Titans or something. And I was trying to listen to them, but a lot of what they were saying was really, it was hard to listen to. I'll put it that way, because they were talking over one another and stuff like that, and I kind of made a comment about that. But they were the whole video was about how to beat Mortarion, and what I've noticed in the hobby, and I think I mentioned this in my other video, I don't remember, but what I've noticed is almost every board looks the same. And what I mean by that is you've got a certain number of buildings and they're all set up certain ways so that everybody has cover, blah blah blah. There's no open battlefields anymore. There's no, you know, narrative scenario driven stuff. Now, for those of you that don't know me, I got into this, you know, when I was you know, in third edition back in '98, and you know, a lot of us, you know, it's easy for us to say, oh, you know, friggin', you know, I've been playing forever and this, you know, it should have never changed or whatever. Oh, something I wanted to point out. I don't know, on this sprue set, I'm almost positive that these right here are Dreadnought leg plates, which I don't understand why they would be on here. But I'm not going to fret over that, because I'm actually going to be putting Dark Angels, I think, together after this, just to knock out those box sets. Also, what I plan on doing is, what was I going to say? Just want to double check this real quick. Yep. What I'm also planning on doing is, I think I'm going to paint my Dark Angels, I don't know, maybe black. I don't know. I'd like your opinion. I know, you know, traditionally the Ravenwing is black, but that's for the Dark Angels. It's not for a successor chapter. And I'm somewhat of the mindset that maybe a successor chapter might be more enjoyable to paint and more enjoyable to look at, instead of having an entire display case full of black. But I'm torn, because I always wanted one of all of the, you know, the major players, if you will. And I don't know, just decisions, right? So it's kind of like, you know, my Space Wolves, when I put them together, you know, it's really about the color scheme. Like Space Wolves, I like the idea. I like all the adornments and stuff on their armor and whatnot. But I'm not a big fan of, you know, the helmetless, you know, Space Marines. I never have been. I mean, I want a mask on them at a minimum. I mean, you're fighting on, you know, planets you have no idea what the heck is even there. And, you know, in my opinion. And I know that they're able to survive most of that stuff. I mean, believe me, I know. But in my mind, it's, you know, what makes a Space Marine iconic, you know, or makes a Space Marine is his armor, and his armor in its entirety. So, anyway, digress from that. What I'm doing tonight is I'm getting all this stuff together, and I am going to be going full bore to get at least these bikes put together. And you know, the goal right now is to finish all of the Ravenwing by next Wednesday, and today is Thursday, so we got about 7 days. And having done this part right here for one box set, you know, the bulk of it in 30 minutes, I mean, my gosh, man, I already know how to put the things together, and I'm only going to trim up as much as I need to get them put together, and then I'll go back and trim, because a lot of the stuff you're not going to see anyway. You know, it's just how it is. But I'm really stoked that it's moving along as fast as it is, and I believe we're going to be somewhere in the ballpark. What do we got here? We got 8 squads of 5, so that's 40 plus those 3 guys, 41, 42, 43. So we'll be somewhere around 43, maybe even 53 Dark Angel bikes. What I was thinking of was 10 squads of 5, and I have the parts to do it. I have more bikes now. They're older bikes, but there's plenty of spare parts here to do the job, to make them look more. Now the bikes will be the same, but to make the guys look more modern, if you will. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I'm looking at. Some of this stuff, man, I have no idea what the heck this even is, and I'm just now seeing it. That's weird. But hopefully you guys are enjoying the music and enjoying the improvements that we're making on the channel. I got one piece of positive feedback saying the music was at the right level, so I haven't changed anything. The microphone has been sitting here the whole time at the same thing, or same location in the same setting. So I think we're gonna learn this whole YouTube thing in some fashion. Yeah, that's what I was looking for, these little things right here. But I'm doing the leg work here so that I can just kind of fly through the assembly process. And like I said, just clip off, or I'm sorry, trim up what I have to. I'm not entering any painting contests or anything. I just want a nice looking model, when it's all said and done, that I'm going to enjoy playing with. And that's really all you should even be worried about. Looks like we've got everything. Okay, yep. Alright, so that's all done. We've got a ton of bits and pieces here, and we are now ready to assemble 6 bikes and an attack bike. So how do I want to do this? First thing I like to do is I like to go for the wheels, because they need it, believe it or not, in some ways they need a little bit of drying time. So maybe we can call this an assembly class. I don't know, Space Marine bike assembly class. I think that makes sense. I don't know, it's clown world over here right now. But yep, it's I'm really excited. I hope you are as well. And if you're on this lengthy journey with me to watch this entire warehouse of stuff get done, that'll be something else. And I'll apologize up front if you're hearing my dog. Anything that happens out there with the wind, or if, what have you, they're gonna bark at it, and I can hear her already, getting herself worked up. But this is, I don't have a YouTube studio built in the house. I don't even know if it's possible with the little ones and whatnot. Perhaps, once I get things put together and I have more room, I'll be able to move things down into the dungeon / basement / game room. And, things will be a little bit better maybe. As you guys can see, this is coming along relatively fast. I wish there was a better way to put the halves together with the wheels inside. There just is not. There just isn't, unfortunately. Without getting glue on your fingers and stuff like that, and it's not just this part right here so much as when you put the halves of the bike itself together with the wheels inside. That's when it becomes a little bit of an issue, getting stuff on your fingers. But I have a little bit of a method to keep some of that at bay. So one thing we may have to do tomorrow is we may have to make a run to the stow so that we can get some more glue. I have plenty for this job, but when I get set on a project, I don't want to stop. It's just how it is. Hopefully I'm keeping my hands in the shot here. I'm also trying not to shake it too bad because the camera is in fact on the table, the tripod anyway. I've already got plans for making something that could potentially go over my head and straight down, which I think will be a lot better. Of course, I need to, you know, get a better camera and stuff like that. Right now, the best camera that I own is my cell phone, and the only hiccup with that would be is if somebody called. I don't know if it shuts it off or what happens. As you guys can see, we're flying right through these wheels, man. And notice I'm not going all the way around. I mean, there's no point. You don't have to do that. You just need, you know, enough to make the contact, and then the glue will do the rest of the work for you. I mean, again, I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence. It's just, you got new modelers, you know, if you're watching this, you know, just trying to pass that information along, my friends. Now, some people think that bikes are a waste of time. I would disagree. I think it's about, you know, how fun you want your game to be, or are you really worried about winning, is what I get to, or what I'm getting at. All right. I'm sure you guys can see the method to my madness here. What I'm doing, essentially assembly line tactics. And that is all 7. Had to make sure none of them tried to escape, you know. So what I do here is, like I said, there's really no good way of not getting glue on you. But I put a little right here, a little bit here, and then I just kind of rub it around with the nozzle. You don't need a whole lot. A little bit back here, because where my thumb is right now, you're not gonna, I mean, you can put some on there like I'm doing, which may be out of the shot, I'm sorry. But right here, this is where the back wheel goes. You can put a little glue there, but there's nothing that goes down below because that's where the wheels go. So then I'll just throw these wheels on here, grab the other side, gently put that on there as best I can, and then I put my fingers right up here on the top, mostly to hold that together, because if you don't, you'll get a nice gap. Now you got to be careful that sometimes, see how that was uneven at the fender? You got to kind of pay attention to that. I don't know why it was, you know, the mold is like that, but sometimes one side will be significantly higher than the other, and so I'm not doing that. You know, I'm holding it to the point where it should have set, and it has. And now I'm going to set it down, and I'm not going to touch it. The more you touch these things, you know what's crazy? I just told you there's almost no way not to get glue on your fingers, and I didn't get any glue on me that time. Now this time I'm probably going to be glued to the table. But so maybe, you know, as I'm going along, even I'm learning a new method for myself. Yep, just like that. Put a little dab on here. Let's get those wheels on there. Let's get that other half on there. Try to roll her over. As soon as we get it popped in, hold those tops and make sure you line up that front fender. and the back fender if you can. Otherwise, you're going to be doing a lot of scraping. A lot of scraping. Alright, that's 2 down. Let's see here, I need to look at something. Okay. Alright, let's do it again. It's 2 bikes put together, at least the bulk of their body. Yep, that's 2 that we haven't gotten any haven't gotten any glue on us. Maybe we're gonna get lucky. Uh-oh. Something happened. No, we're good. We're good. You'll have to excuse my lack of comedic skills. I don't want this to be that boring for you guys. I mean, you're already watching me do this stuff. Yeah, we got some gappage here, and it wasn't lining up correctly. So watch those fenders big time. Okay. I'm also not really worried about the wheels being quote glued in place, because once you put them on the on their base, they're going to be glued, so it doesn't really matter. Kind of wish I could hear the music but I can't because I don't have the headphones set up. Still working on how that works. I haven't quite figured that part out yet. But it sure would be nice not to sit here in silence. Listen to something at least, other than my own voice. Oh, I just felt a piece or a bit of glue. It almost got me. Yep. Like I said, you can see, a lot of the plastic that needs to be scraped off. But that's okay, because we'll get them both. We'll get both sides at the same time when it's time to do that. There's no point in sitting there with each piece doing that. Makes you're wasting your own time. When you could be just putting stuff together. So it looks like our method of holding on to basically the pipes in this last axle is working out really well to keep the glue off our fingers and speed the process up. Sit that down, guide it over, put a little bit of glue on that rear axle, put these tires on, our wheels. Use the wheel for some type of, you guys saw that, right? I got stuck. Got some glue on me. I don't know why it says 2 concurrent viewers. If you're there, please do me a favor. Say something in the chat. I mean, I have my window up, of course. That's so I can see the chat. right. That's 5 down. That wasn't long. How you doing, Giovanni, if I'm saying that right? Did I say that right? Giovanni, maybe? Giovanni? We got about a 5-second delay, I think, between what I'm doing and your question, or, you know, anything that happens here. But thankfully the stream health is excellent according to YouTube, so that's good. Close enough. Yeah, I've got the same problem. My last name, it's depending on what country you're in, geese, guise, goose, geese, guys, geis, just depends. So how's the stream look to you, and music and everything? I'm over here holding my breath, like waiting to hear what he has to say. Man, your stream sucks. Okay, appreciate it. Right on. Yeah, I'm glad the music's actually free for YouTube creators. I couldn't believe that there was stuff like that out there. It's great. I don't know, like, at what point you're in the video, if you're right where I'm at, or if you started, you know, from the beginning or what have you. I'm still learning how all of this works. But basically, I'm putting together a second set of the Dark Angels Ravenwing box set with 6 bikes, 1 attack bike, and 1 land speeder. And in 30 minutes, I was able to strip all the bikes off, other than the little, you know, detail stuff. But when I was first doing this, apparently I had myself muted, so I was talking for about 30 minutes or so, and looked up and realized I was completely muted. So that's great. All right. So all of those are put. Oh, well, you guys can't even see that. I'm over here putting it off camera. So we got 7 bikes here, all set up, ready to rock. All right, so my next thing I'm gonna do, like I said, we're not trimming all these little pieces or anything like that, because most of the stuff you're not even gonna see. We're only gonna trim up what we have to worry about. So the first thing I'll go to is the gas tank. I'm assuming it's the gas tank in Warhammer. I mean, in the 41st Millennium. I don't know. It could be a fuel cell. Could just be for looks. Who knows? But since I ride motorcycles, that's what I think. And I'm going to go ahead and trim off the back fender here, just because it's already there and it's an easy fix. And then, of course, the bottom, because we're going to be putting the, the crash plate underneath. And I'm not worried about anything else. I gotcha. So I take it you've seen my warehouse of shame. This one's being a little bit of a pain, so I actually found a nail file my wife had. Might as well use it. It's here, right? Test that out. Yeah, it is. But I'm on my second army, you know, in less than 2 weeks, so I mean, I think we're making some progress. And this one, my goal is to have this one done by next Wednesday, but I think I'll be done a lot sooner than that if I just stick with it. Maybe I'll get ahead of the game by a couple of days. I'm just happy now I have time to do all this stuff. I've been collecting those for so long in the hopes that I was going to be able to, you know, put stuff together and play. It is what it is. Alright, it's 3. I've had this stinking blade on here for 3 years at least, and this is the same blade I've used for the entire orc army. This still works. So what kind of advice do you have for making this channel worthwhile watching? Can't be overly exciting watching somebody scrape plastic. Yeah. Hey man, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do to save money for this hobby, that's for sure. Definitely for sure. You know, and those 3-year-old blades still cut the hell out of your finger too. Alright, 2 left to do on here. Some rust. What do you mean? Like tell about you know, how I ended up with all these models? There's not much of a story to it, I guess, other than the depressing part of not putting it all together because of a crazy woman in my life. Not really depressing, but just annoying. That's kind of negative. Trying to keep this positive. I think if I get into the negative, I won't be able to do this, and I can't do that. My resolve is greater than the Emperor's. Oh yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I kind of feel like I'm doing that a little bit. The painting is gonna be a while though. I mean, I gotta say, because I mean, now I'm putting these plates on. Oops, I forgot to do something. Plates, actually, there's this one spot here or 2 spots, sorry, you gotta trim off or it won't fit right. But yeah, I've got a lot of these armies. They're real dark in color, black base and everything. And I'm sitting here going, well, might as well put them all together and then batch paint the hell out of all of them. I'm trying to figure out if there's another color scheme I can do for this Ravenwing army that's not black, but I haven't found anything that, you know, I like. So I'm gonna have a lot of, I mean, my orcs are gonna be goth mostly in color, and then I'm gonna have knob banners like somebody suggested in the orcs thing. So I can have the different clans or whatever. I like the the benefits of Death Skulls, but I don't like the purple. So, alright, throw that on there. Coal black, black with a gray highlight and a blue tint. Interesting. Do you know, like, in the successor chapters, are they, because I've been out of it for so long, do they, when it comes to Ravenwing and Deathwing, is it the colors it's supposed to be, like, from the parent chapter, or are there, you know, do they go with a different color or something? I almost feel like it's the same, but I don't know. Got to make sure you push these foot panels or whatever back, or it won't sit right. What's you oh, you don't. No, I hear you. I gotcha. What have you heard about the Emperor coming back? I heard a rumor about that. I'm not even sure how that would work, unless they, you know, like, destroyed the 40K universe like they did with, you know, the old world and fantasy. I mean, have you heard about that? Yeah, I can't even wrap my head around how that would work. I mean, it's not like he would ever lose a war, you know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was also thinking that there might be another civil war between, you know, the Primaris and the Legacy Marines, you know, Firstborn. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. You're definitely giving me my practice here to assemble and paint or whatever, and look up and see what you're saying. But I appreciate it. So are you working on models too, or what? Awesome. Quick drink break. Oh yeah, man, I was thinking that, you know, basically the High Lords of Terra, you know, not liking the fact that he's basically telling them what to do now. Yeah, I'm right with you on that one. Right on. I have, I think 20 Imperial Knights I've got to assemble. Well, I mean, not assemble, I'm sorry. 2 of them are already assembled, but they're magnetized. And eventually I'm going to buy a couple more to go with my Warhammer 30,000 stuff, because you know, it's all 3D printed, but in my mind, the Imperial Knight is the scale of Warlord Titan should be for Epic. But that's, you know, obviously they cheated us on the Adeptus Titanicus stuff. It's not bad, but I mean, there's no way you could fit 3 people in that dude's head, you know, at 8mm. There's no way. But I mean, I guess everybody's right. GW hasn't really ever been consistent with scale, which is unfortunate, because I've got graphic novels and stuff like if you remember gosh, what is it called? It's Titan 1, 2, and 3, where they actually boarded the Warlord Titan and stuff, and they were fighting on the inside and everything. There's just no, you know, I mean, just doesn't seem like it. And I think, I don't know, but I think the Forge World model has more space in it as well, right? I think so. I think I saw something like that a long time ago. But I think one of my knights is going to end up being a Chaos Knight. I've got parts for it. And I got another one that I bought. They're 3D printed, like Space Wolf specific stuff. Man, I'm glad I just said that. I totally forgot. I got to remember that when I start putting my Space Wolves together. I might want to write that down. So what all armies do you have? Come on, get off of there. Stupid. Gotta get my hands back in the shot. I remember, was it 2000? I remember 2008. I had this plan. Yeah, me too. I just haven't put them together yet. I got 12 boxes of the well, shit, what do you call it? Whatever the 8th edition box set was with the Primaris and the Death Guard. I got 12 boxes of that shit. So my Death Guard army is going to be friggin' huge. Gloomspite, what is that? I need to look that up. That sounds cool. Let me see. What is Gloomspite? Gloomspite. Why does that sound like it's Skaven? No, it's not. Let's see here. Wait a minute, you said you bought... What did you say you bought? A Battle Force. Okay, let me look that up. I love goblins, dude. They're just friggin' awesome. Battle Force. Is it a battalion or a battle force? Oh, I think I found it. 200 bucks. Gorgeous models, though. Gorgeous models. I can't say anything. I mean, I was saying in one of my videos, what you call them, those Space Hulk boxes I have, the 3rd edition Space Hulk, some of them cost me 400 bucks because I didn't think they were ever going to make the game again. Christmas box set. Gotcha. I know that I heard I heard something, I haven't looked it up yet, but something about they're gonna bring back fantasy or something with Bretonia or something. Yeah, man, I'm gonna be I've actually got regular Terminators that are slated for my Space Hulk game. I got the dead one. Yeah. That what do you say? Sorry, I'm trying not to break this handlebar. Anyway, my goal was to have, you know, various Blood Angel chapters with those guys, or scrape off or do something with the jewels to turn them into other chapters for Space Hulk. But then I also bought a bunch of the regular Terminators, so I don't really have to do that. Like, we've already got, I've got a 5-man team of Death Watch Terminators that are magnetized. I think I showed that in a video. And what I also did was I made a 5-man team with a librarian. Oh, I forgot, it's a 6-man team because of the librarian. But so the librarian is not painted yet though, and I've got the Death Watch guys not in their Terminator armor. So, I mean, is it full-on fantasy, or is it like is it like current time, or are they just like going in the past or something? Like, it's not in the same timeline or time frame. Because that would be pretty cool. I still have I think I got into fantasy in 6th edition. Yeah, I still have the book. OG. Okay, right on. Well, I'm gonna tell you what. Do you know if they're gonna go back to square bases, since they made everybody go to round bases? Well, I'm right with you. I just knew enough to play it. That's all. I didn't really get into that stuff. All right, so we got that put together. That's put together. So before we put the fairing on, let's go ahead and put these little beasts on, because they're a pain in my butt. Oh, they are? Well, I got an entire Orc and Goblin army, and I'm probably not going to rebuy that. Only a portion of it's painted. It was in the video, but yeah, I'm not going to. I mean, who knows? Maybe I will. My wife, I said, what am I going to do if I actually accomplish this and paint everything? And she's like, well, we'll just get more. And I was like, holy smokes, I married the right woman. Alright, where's this side? Gosh. I'm trying to put these little detail things on, because on the last bikes I did it after the fact and the fairing was kind of in the way. I don't know if you can see that little Ravenwing symbol on there. Well, she's not, huge into, say, playing the game that much. She can't stand Necrons because they get back up. She doesn't like that at all. She really hates them. And but she also doesn't know enough about the game to, really be much of a challenge. So there's that. But she supports me in the hobby, so that's all that matters. It's a really good marriage, really good friendship, and I have no complaints, that's for sure. I know what's going to end up happening though once I get all this stuff done is I may not buy more of these models. Oh, you know what? Since I have you here, maybe you can tell me. So I have Chaos guys or Chaos models, but they're not Games Workshop ones. And they're not exactly kid friendly, if that makes sense. You know, the demons, like I'm not Games Workshop's demons, they suck. I mean, I just don't like them. And so I've got, you know, I bought some female models. This is how awesome my wife is. She doesn't care about any of that stuff. You know, that, you know, you wouldn't want to play with, you know, around kids if you didn't have certain parts, you know, covered up, if you will. I just wonder how that would pan out for doing games on here and it not being GW models. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, I mean, you think people that would turn people off that it wasn't a GW model? Because like my Mega Orcs are not GW because the GW ones look too plain to me. Or Orcs and Mega Armor, I'm sorry. Those are from Cromlech. I'm trying to remember where I got the demons from. I can't remember what the name of that place was. But, you know, they're beautiful models. I can't wait to paint them. But I don't know if it'll... Well, that's good. Do you do Tabletop Simulator at all? That's it, Creature Caster, you're right. That's the one. That's the one. Oh man, did I break that one? I might have. Shoot, man, I'd be... Oh, right. Well, I mean, there's, you know, I mean, none of these videos are made for kids, because if I did, then you can't comment. I don't understand that part, but, you know, because I tried to make it for kids, and then they said, well, then you can't comment. But, did you paint them both? Wow. Oh. Hey, I'm with you, man. That's you know, hey, I'm not gonna hate. Prime and paint all in one, right? I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Are you using Citadel paints or are you using like other stuff? Bluish, huh? Wonder why that is. Only black to plain. Oh, sure. Did you take the time to outline all those panels? Yeah, that's what I was just gonna ask you, the edge highlight. Ooh. +40 Marines. Wow, that's awesome. I'm trying to remember how many came in the 8th edition box set. I don't remember. I think I have like 100 and some odd Primaris total. Let me see. Actually, I could probably tell you because I got my spreadsheet here. Let's see. So Primaris, where are we at here? I have, for intercessors, I have 120. Here, let me just give you the count. So I got 12 captains in Gravis armor, 2 regular captains. This is all Primaris. 1 librarian, 2 chaplains, 1 apothecary, 1 justiciar, or I don't know how you say that. Justiciar. 25 lieutenants, 1 blade guard ancient, 1 ancient. Well, that can't be right because I've got 12 boxes. I better update that. 3 blade guard veterans, 121 intercessors, 10 assault intercessors, 36 inceptors, 60 hellblasters, 3 eradicators, 3 outriders, 10 reavers, 6 aggressors, and 2 redemptor dreadnoughts. That's what I have. I thought I had a, I don't know, I thought I had that floating tank. I don't know what the heck it's called. So yeah, they're gonna be, I'm gonna paint them up in a more OD green kind of, what do you call them? Like more of the color the salamanders were back in the 31st millennium, and then I'm gonna play them as Primaris if I need to, but they're really gonna be their own army, and they're just gonna be true scale Space Marines, if that makes sense. And these little bits are something else, man. But if I didn't do it, it'd be a waste of money. Yeah, I like those Redemptor Dreadnoughts, man. They look really cool. Kind of sucks, you know, how they look compared to a regular Dreadnought, but it is what it is. Like, the hobby has to change, I guess, or evolve. I just don't know, you know, what'll ever, you know, what'll become of our firstborn Legacy Marines. You know, if they're gonna somehow just phase them out, or, I mean, I know they said they wouldn't, but I think they will. I think it's a lie. GW likes to lie. So. So right now this stream is coming through in 1080p, like it doesn't have to process or anything. I mean, if that's the case, it's kind of crazy that I record a video and then it has to process standard high def and whatever. I had a really good computer, but it died, so now I'm on this Walmart special because I want to be able to stream some Dawn of War games too. Alright, we finally finished that part. Okay, so we gotta put the bodies together, get the backpacks on. Yes, sir. And what I like to do is separate the chest pieces from the back and put glue in the holes of the back pieces. And I apologize if it's the same song over and over. It's all I got right now. So, there's some more stuff out there, but I haven't had time to work on a playlist. Can you hear my dog drinking water? Oh my gosh. So loud. That's good. What are you doing, pretty girl? What are you doing? What you doing? You're on YouTube. You know that? You're being streamed all over the world. Hey, come over here. Hey, put your face up there. Yeah, pretty girl. It's my German Shepherd. Yeah, it's I actually used to do singing and playing guitar and recording. So as long as I'm relatively close to it, I guess it's pretty good. Of course, I'm not really one for talking loud, so I've got to work on that for these streams and everything as well. Talk a little louder, not talk as, you know, what am I trying to say, as monotone, I guess. So, but I have two of these mics, just the other one's not being used, just sitting over there collecting dust. It's amazing the stuff you get yourself involved in through life. Yep, I hear you, man. Well, you may laugh at this, so I don't know, man, maybe just development issues or whatever, but you know, I'm 46, and it wasn't until I think I got in the fire department, a volunteer fire department, while I was on my way out of the Marine Corps to retire, that I mean, I did it to try to force myself to be more talkative, and it kind of sort of worked, but not so much. But then I don't know, man, like we bought this property here, and in the process of trying to live that dream too, becoming a small business owner, you got to talk to people, and now sometimes I feel like I just can't shut the hell up. So, but it's probably for the better. Although my wife still says that unless I have something to actually say, I don't ever talk. So there's that. This is going along actually relatively smooth here. I mean, if we put the time together, about an hour and 30 minutes, give or take, doing other crap. That's that other dog. We have boarding kennels here for people's pets at my house downstairs. It was all part of it when we bought it. Okay, why is that not going in there right? So we've got people's pets downstairs. Big giant Doberman thing's probably almost 200 pounds. Friendly as can be though. But you gotta watch it knock you over. So you can't hear that barking right now? Alright, those are done. Grab this. I almost feel like, because I'm right-handed mostly, that I need to move the camera to the other side, but then it'll be in the way of my light. Yeah, that was my Kimber over here. Should I turn the music off? Or mute it? I hear you. Or I read you. Okay. I mean, I can't hear it, you know, because I don't have headphones. I haven't figured out how that works. I'm using OBS and I don't know. Let's see here. All right. So we'll glue the backpacks on here. So that becomes one piece. Uh-oh. Looks like we're out of glue on this tube. But no worries. I'm not going anywhere, Mr. Jake. I save all these tubes and stuff from Crazy Glue for terrain pieces and whatnot. Probably have, hell, I don't know, 1 million. Some of this glue's like 4 years old. Can't believe it's still working. I sure am happy I'm able to do this now. I don't even know how to explain it other than that. Whoa. Oh, that's for the, yeah, okay. Lane speeder guy, I think. Wait a minute. Don't tell me no, it's for the tack biker. So did you know that GW's basically doing 3D printing now? I didn't know that. I watched a midwinter minis guy, Henry. His YouTube, and he was putting together or painting an Imperial Knight, and he showed on the back of the gun arm where you could see the marks from the 3D printer. That's something else I want to get into. I mean, makes sense. Why not, right? Why wouldn't they do it? I don't know if they do it on a big scale though, but alright, let those dry. Hey, somebody else is here. How you doing, whoever it is? Yeah, could be. Could be. It would make sense. Make a really good mold, I would think. Right. Yeah, I agree. Yep. Totally agree. Whoever else that is watching, hello. Introduce yourself. Just embarking on the journey of putting a million models together. It's not quite an exaggeration. Right now we're putting together Ravenwing. An entire Ravenwing army, as a matter of fact. We're on our second of second of 6 Ravenwing battle forces. Maybe they had to step away from the computer. Or maybe it's YouTube going, let's see what this guy's doing. Let's see if he's following the rules. Whatever rules those may be. Hey, what's going on, man? As you can see, we got the live stream going. Cam Giovanni is from the Orcs page. He's putting together an Imperial Knight right now, and he's got in the ballpark of, I don't know, 150 or so Primaris. So if you've got any questions, he'd be the guy to ask right now. He's already put together 2 of those box sets that you have, and he's got 60 more to go. So right on, we got one big mini Oh man, mini assembly group going on here. Mini assembly party. But yeah, I mean, if you got any questions about how Primaris work, you know, in the game and stuff like that, he'd be the guy to ask right now. I've actually never used them. I've killed them, but that's about it. But that was back in 8th edition. Played a couple games. No, it wasn't that. I was trying to reposition the backpack. It wasn't, I don't know why it wasn't on there correctly, and I didn't want it to jump onto the floor. So Cameron, I was able to snip all the parts off of all the bikes in this box set in under 30 minutes. Then it took, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 minutes for the rest of the little whiz-bang widgets or whatever, you know, that you use to make this army a specific army of the Ravenwing. And my goal here is to have this army done by Wednesday of next week. I think I'll have it done 2 or 3 days earlier, honestly, at the way I'm going with this. So I'm pretty stoked about that. No. Gosh, I cannot pick this guy up. Oh my goodness. Get on the model. That's your deal. Oh, that backpack's messed up too. What the heck? Now I got super glue on my finger, crazy glue on my fingers. I should be sponsored by Crazy Glue. That's all I use. This video is sponsored by Crazy Glue. The glue that sticks to you. How's that for comedy? Alright. We'll give those guys a little bit of a rest period. Ah, no worries, man. I get it. If my family was here, little man would probably be over here talking to me. That's alright, nobody thinks you're illiterate. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so basically I just try to get things together and then do a, for the, you know, anybody that watches this afterwards, I try to work on pieces that I know are going to need time to dry, and then I go back and I start working on other things while they do that. That way I conserve my time. Cameron, do you have clippers, or are you having to do everything with an X-Acto knife? That's good. I remember the days of old when I didn't have clippers. Boy, was that something. I didn't even know they existed. I was such a noob. I probably went through 3/4 of my career in this hobby without clippers. Like, no exaggeration, man. I think when I first found out about clippers, it was from Games Workshop, and I think they were, oh man, what did they want, like 20 bucks? Something crazy. Oh! Yeah. Guard them with your life. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. That works for that. Yeah, I hope I can figure out the headphone thing. That way I can listen to the music too and not sit here in silence. Ooh. Ooh. Dude, yeah, I was gonna say the sector and Imperialis have some hard plastic, man. That's some hard plastic. Yeah, I've got a bunch of buildings. As a matter of fact, we just unpacked a bunch of stuff. Yeah, well, you'll be seeing that on this channel at some point. I've got a ton of Imperial sector freaking buildings, and I mean a ton. I used to have an 8-foot by 16-foot board that was made for Titan fights. Like, the buildings were so tall the Titans could walk, like you could put a bridge between the buildings and the Titans could walk underneath them, and it was massive. But through all my moving and everything like that, I mounted everything on floor tile because it was relatively cheap. When you glue it on there, it glues almost instantly, which was awesome. And it holds, man. It really holds. And you know, it was a good solid base, but after all the moving and everything like that, the tiles got warped and stuff. So about a week and a half ago, right before I started the orc project, I ripped it all apart, and it's all sitting in boxes down there ready to be repaired. So, but that board was massive. I used these gosh, what were they called? It's almost like a die cast or matchbox type airplane thing. They had these foam runways, and they worked out really good as roads. And I mean, this whole thing was so set up, it was amazing. But I'll get back there. Oh, Cameron, I don't know if you were here for this, but I was telling Giovanni that I was telling my wife I might be upset or something along those lines. You know, if I ever get all these models painted and done, she goes, well, we'll just buy more. Tell me that isn't awesome. need a video about that. What do you mean? Oh yeah, well, believe me, once I get all this stuff put together, I mean, I'm putting everything together. At least the plan right now is to put everything together and then start painting everything, because I want all of the stuff to match the terrain and everything else. You know, the same paint style and all that. It's really important to me that I do that, because I won't be happy with it otherwise. So I'll be putting all that crap together. Plus, what it's going to do for me is, well, actually I may be wrong in this, but I think it's going to help me free up space from all the boxes and crap that I have. And you know, and it'll look better too. I mean, even though they won't be painted, you'll be able to see it, you know, in the videos, and see the construction and, you know, the progression, I guess, maybe, depending on, you know, who sticks around that long. My wife did the calculations last night. She goes, "You realize that you probably won't get everything done in a year, right? If you plan on a week and a half." I said, "I know." I said, "But we'll see." One thing I'm not going to focus on is, you know, non-Warhammer models at first. Like my Warzone models, I really love those models. They're kind of, they have kind of a World War I feel, and I don't know if you've ever seen the Warzone models, but the box sets I have, they stopped doing that, selling them. There was, Cameron, there was 80 models in those boxes, 40 for each side. It's amazing. I'll tell you something I haven't mastered though, is pinning. Because every time I try to pin, like the way that they show, it never seems to line up correctly. You know, where you're supposed to put the pin where you want it and then mark, you know, paint the end and then have it mark on the other piece. It never lines up correctly. And I have not figured that out in all these years. So I just add more glue. But one thing you can do, Cameron, if you figure it out, is you get yourself a drill like this, okay, and you know, hobby drill or whatever, and get a drill bit that's the size, like this one is the size of a you know, a decent sized paper clip, and you can use paper clips to pin your models together, especially if you've got any that are heavy or anything like that, you know, that you need to do that to. Just drill a hole in each one, and hopefully you can do what I've failed to do and pin them together. All those bikes got that. Need to do the shoulder pads. Yeah, I don't even remember where I got that. I've had that drill bit, or that drill, for I don't know, 10 years maybe. And Giovanni, Cameron's like, I don't know, about an hour away from me. Met him not too long ago, and I dragged him into the hobby, it looks like. One way or the other. I told him he didn't have to buy anything. I had everything. All the Dark Angels that I have right now are all the push fit minis because they're from the Dark Vengeance set. You know, the mono pose, but they have the, you know, the raised symbols and stuff on them. So I kind of like that. I don't think they're too bad. Plus they're not all squatting, if you will. So that's probably going to be it for my Dark Angels. Just so that, you know, models match up and stuff, and I'm not having to paint or put a decal on. My Black Templars all have the chapter upgrades as well. And I'm probably going to have to buy some kind of shoulder pads or whatever for my salamanders whenever I get around to them. You know, you would think Games Workshop would make all these, you know, shoulder pads and stuff. They just don't. I just don't understand why. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people aren't really buying them, but I mean, at least have the option. Yeah, well, here's the thing: if you don't drill your freaking barrels, it's heresy. That being said, I'm gonna be, you know, I'm not doing that right now. I'll be doing it prior to painting them, so that'll be a, you know, a process. But yeah, you definitely want to do that for realism. The hardest barrel to drill though is an assault cannon. You gotta have a really small thing. But here's another tip though, Cameron. One thing you want to be careful of, or maybe do, is when you drill. Let's see, I don't have a bolter here that I can use an example. I don't know. Maybe you can see this. I'm not sure. Let's see. Alright, so you see the hole on the side? I'm going to stick myself with this thing. The hole on the side of the barrel or the compensator. You can drill through that if you'd like, but you really don't need to. All you need to do is drill just slightly in the tip of the barrel. Watch, I'm going to stab myself on live video, see? The tip of the barrel, but you don't have to go in very deep. You know, just enough to give the impression. If you go too deep, you're going to end up splitting the barrel. So you got to be careful about that. I mean, the Primaris have pretty sizable barrels, but I mean, you can still do it, especially if you're at the wrong angle when you go in. Yep, waiting on these things to dry and the process and getting all this stuff cleaned up. I need to, for those of you new to the channel, and trying to do my best to keep my hands in the shot. Cameron, is everything pretty clear for you as well? The music and the video being live streamed? Awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to balance my, my work along with doing this and researching how to be a better YouTuber. So I don't know if it's possible for me to make any money off of this, but if I don't give it a shot, you know, I won't. And I've got enough models that I can definitely keep the content going. Unless people are just bored from watching me do this. I think it'll obviously get more interesting once we're building terrain and stuff, but one thing I'm trying to do, I mean at the beginning, well wait, did I tell you what happened about the first 30 minutes? What happened, Cameron? So I was recording for about 30 minutes, and it was recording me. I was cutting all this stuff off the sprues, and I figured, well, most of the time I'm doing this stuff off camera, might as well do it here and show people, you know, how efficient you can be at doing it. And I'm talking, you know, or trying to keep things going. I was talking about all kinds of stuff, Grey Knights, the Emperor, you name it. And I look up and I realized that my microphone was muted the whole time. So I said to stop and delete the video and start over. But I mean, I had already cut everything, so, and it took about 24 minutes I think to cut everything off the sprues. But I was talking about why I was keeping the sprues and all that, you know, so I can melt them in acetone. Well, you got to cut them up, you know, pretty small, but then you can melt them in acetone and make plastic sheets out of them. And that's my next plan, so that way I've got that stuff for like orc stuff, you know, or anything else I could possibly need for terrain or whatever. I just need to buy some adjustable measurable rolling pins, which actually exist. There's a rolling pin out there I saw on a YouTube video that you just remove the sides or whatever, and it changes the depth at which you're flattening things. It's pretty cool. So it gives me a huge use for these sprues instead of just throwing them in the trash. Oops, wrong pile. So, how much stuff do you have put together already, Cameron? Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Like, are those Primaris or the Necrons? I don't even remember how many minis come in that box, like 60 I think or something. Can't remember. what I do with the bikes is to put the arms on is I just go ahead and put the hand on after I put some glue down, and then I just rotate it into position. And I dab a little glue on the top of the shoulder and the chest piece. Let it seep down and let it sink in there, and then set it off to the side. 61. Ooh, got it. Yeah, I haven't even touched that box. Hey, what's going on here? Something's backwards. Come on. When you have glue on your fingers, you have no tactile function like you normally would have. You lose your Spider-Man abilities. Something's definitely not right here. Anyway. So a little dab on the handlebars, a little dab on the chest. Find the one you need. Put the hand in first and rotate down. Press in a little bit. If you guys can hear that beeping, I apologize. It's nothing I can do about it at the moment. Awesome, buddy. Man overboard. And we got you back, probably, unless it's somebody new. Alrighty, coming along here. Getting these bikes put together fast. Like it. If I get a day where I've got nothing to do, yeah, right. I can definitely see myself making some serious headway on this army. Alright, they've all got their arms on. Now I know what I want to do is I want to pick the best one to be the base for the attack bike. And the reason being is if I don't, then the panel's not gonna sit right on there. So it's looking to me like it's gonna be this first one we've got over here. We've already trimmed everything up, so that's an easy day. Put a little glue on there. Slap this puppy on here. And then I'm going to take the wheel and I'm going to put that on there. I'm not really concerned about gluing it at the moment. It's just to rest it so that it sits like it's supposed to and forms like it's supposed to. So the attack bike is ready to roll. We've got 6 bikers here ready to roll. And in the meantime, well, we don't have anything else to trim except for on the bikes, but we don't want to mess with those right now because the arms are still drying. So, and this guy is over here for the bike. Where is the seat and whatnot? Here it is. So we can put this together right now. Same method I did before, where I just put a little dab and then we turn around and use the neck of the glue to spread it around. That way you're not having to deal with it. Now if you've got any overlap with the glue, just drag it back a little bit like I'm doing here. Drag it back over and it create a little bit of a seal over top of it. It's nothing you're gonna see anyway, so no big deal. So that's sitting there. Now you may be tempted to go ahead and put, you know, the Space Marine's body on there, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that. You can do all of this. I realized as I said that the way I was saying it, what I meant to say was go ahead and do it. Boy, that's annoying. I'll be right back. Alright, hopefully nobody's hearing that anymore. It's off in another room. I can still hear it, but hopefully you guys aren't. Alright. The only issue you run into here with putting this guy together, okay, is when you get to the point of his arm and the pedestal or the you know, the gun mount. So put the gun mount together first and let it dry, and when you go to trim this up like I'm going to do here, be very careful you don't cut through this flimsy rail. Okay, but put it together and let it dry fully. Okay, find yourself something else to do while it's doing it. If you're doing like I did on my other bike, I'm using these pieces somewhere else that they weren't designed to be, but I think they give the bike a good look, the attack bike anyway. You know, you've got weapons over here you can put together. You know, anything you can do to try to maximize your time and Oh, here's something I learned with this box set is this little gap right here for the multi-melta. Okay, it's not big enough and for the piece that goes in there, and it's just not wide enough. And the problem with that is it will break the piece when you go to put it in. If you know, well, at least the last one that I did that. This one doesn't seem to have that problem, so we lucked out. Maybe it was just the molding. Oh, there's the problem right there. So it's fitting in, but one side wants to drop lower. So yeah, so it's not working, just like I was talking about. So you have two choices. You can either try to trim off, you know, on the inside of this on one side or the other, or you can try to trim off this piece. Let me turn that for you. You know, one side or the other. So what I'm going to do is, I don't really want to fool with this piece. It would be much easier to just trim off some of this on the inside, and you may as well just do it on the back side of it, so that way again it's not really going to be seen that much, and then you can fill that in with glue once it's in there. Hopefully my my commentary is being helpful. Glue that in there. And then it fits in nice. That way these little power packs or whatever they are, they can be lined up nice and even like they should be. And then put some glue on the top of that, and that will fill in the gaps, and you're all set with the multi-melta. Put this heavy bolter together here. One thing about the heavy bolter, I have to show you here in a second, is when you put the ammo drum on the side, you want to make sure that you slide it forward against, like, towards the barrel, because if you don't, the belt itself will be too far back to the ejection port, you know, where the brass casings come out. And then you also, once you have that, you know, relatively stable, you want to look at it like this to make sure that it's, you know, right and left, up and down, how it should be. It's not really showing up on the camera too well what I'm talking about, but I'm sure you can figure out what I'm talking about. That way your ammo drum's not off to one side or the other. And then set that down. Alright, so we should be good here on the arms now. So what I do is I want to go back and do one more dab of glue because it's a very weak spot. And I'll go through all of those and do that. And then what I'm going to do afterwards is we're going to go ahead and put those shoulder pads on. And the reason that I'm waiting for the fairing to go on last, meaning the front part of the bike with, you know, as well as, you know, where the guns go, is I want to have enough room to work around all of this if I have to reposition stuff and not get my fingers in the way of the rest of the bike. That's why we're doing it this way. And don't forget your attack bike over here. Now you probably just saw that wheel come off. That's okay, because it wasn't really on there to begin with, remember? Alright, so we have different types here. We've got, you know, the Ravenwing symbol, which is going to be on the left, and we got the plain ones that will be on the right. So I'm going to put a little dab on here on the shoulders, both shoulders, and we're going to slap that puppy on. Now, something I like to do is I like the shoulder blade to, the pauldron to lean more in towards the chest and cover up the gap between the chest and the arm. Some people don't do that. I mean, that's their prerogative, but I like it. It makes the Marine, in my opinion, look a little more beefy, you know, even more muscular than what he would be. And so in doing so, I'm having to kind of turn, you know, rotate the pauldron in to make that happen. So if you take a look at the difference here between the generic pauldron and the Ravenwing pauldron, you know, you can see a little bit more of a gap. There's not a whole lot I can do about that, just by the way it's made. The Ravenwing pauldron is made differently, and it's just how it is. But that will give it a nice look. Assuming we don't drop the model on the ground and break it. Now, obviously, push fit models aren't going to allow you to do that per se. So you'll have to, unfortunately, live with whatever you got. It's just the nature of the game, I guess. And I don't mean the game, I mean modeling. Sometimes you may not be able to cover that gap. Like right now I'm having a little bit of an issue with it with this arm on the guy, but that's okay. It's going to give him a little bit of distinction, you know, where one arm seems more forward than the other, and I'm fine with that. Just in case there was some silence there, I don't think it muted the music, but I muted myself because I was coughing for some stupid reason. I don't have the coof, I promise. Since we're not allowed to say COVID. And I just said it. I'm a rebel, YouTube. Go ahead and demonetize this non-monetary channel. They'll be like, no, we'll just remove it. Remove your video. We'll ban you. Wouldn't surprise me. But doing the prep work here, like I did with cutting everything out and putting it in its own little pile, it allows for the assembly process a heck of a lot easier than building each one at a, one at a time. Okay, good. I saw what you said. I'm glad the music stayed on. You just never know, man. I mean, think you got this stuff squared away, and then you turn around and look up and you were muted the whole 30 minutes you were talking. I'm gonna try to develop a playlist from this free or copyright free stuff so that we won't be listening to the same song over and over. I mean, well, you guys won't be. I mean, I can't hear anything, so if I can figure out how the headphone thing works or how to do that. I mean, I see guys on YouTube do it all the time, but I don't know how they do it. And I've yet to see a reliable method for doing it. Alright, so we're going to let those sit for a second. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, see if I can point this out for you guys. Actually, I got this. This will help. So I'm gonna go in, and right at the edge of each the neck piece and the pauldron, I'm gonna just put a small drop of glue that'll work its way down in there and help shore up that that gap. Doesn't take much. All right, brother. Appreciate it. Good hanging out with you. All right. Those guys sit. Get a drink. Thanks, brother. Man, I don't know if you've seen this, Cameron, but did you see this this model right here, Land Speeder Vengeance? Well, fine then. Oh god, the gun just fell off. It was just sitting on there anyway. Yeah, buddy, I'm pretty stoked about this. I mean, yep, pretty stoked. All right, so now I'm going to put on the, oh actually no I'm not. I'm going to go back in here and make sure that the backpacks are trimmed up. And you want to be careful not to put your hands on the pauldrons because they're not quite dry yet. So just basically support your thumb on the vent of his backpack and you won't have to worry about that. Unless, of course, your backpack isn't dry, but it should have been dry by now. Should have been more than dry, really. And you know, before painting, you may have to go back and do a little more trim, but then you'll have more of the bike, you know, of the guy to work with. I mean, you know, to support your thumb on. Meantime, I'm going to go ahead and glue this wheel on. We're ready for that. There was a piece, and I think I forgot to pull it off. Yes, I did. Here it is. It's the hubcap for the wheel. Put this wheel on, you may have to go back and look at the axle and the wheel itself and make sure that they're lined up correctly. Otherwise, your hubcap's not going to look right. Okay. Yeah, I didn't, I thought maybe I had done that, but I wasn't sure. There. Now I'm going to go over here and do these fairings. A little drop of glue is really all we need. Set it down. Don't get carried away with trying to throw the guns on there real quick, because end up fighting them. You're still going to end up fighting them because you may break it loose, but at least it won't be so loose that everything's going to fall apart. Give this glue a little bit of time to dry. these the Ravenwing ones, they seem to be tighter than the normal fairing for the guns to fit in between these grooves here. You know, you got one here and one here, so seems to be a tighter fit for whatever reason. Whoa, easy. Cameron, I got this idea in my head that for some reason I want these guys to have purple and yellow and white, and I don't know why. But that's not what, you know, it's not Ravenwing. I think it's just because I have so many armies that are going to be black in color. Even my Chaos guys are probably going to be black unless I can come up with something else. Just thinking maybe like Alpha Legion colors or something, but I don't know if the Alpha Legion suffers from any type of mutations or anything. Plus Abaddon, who I have, he's in black armor, so may not work that way. And I don't really like red. It's like there's no way around it. Alright. All of the fairings are on. And I just realized that I'm going to want to make our attack bikes the same. Meaning, I just noticed that these fairings have little purity seals on them. Some of them do, not all of them. And I'm going to want to make sure that the attack bike has that. It also has a different symbol on the front of the light fixture. So we'll probably want to make sure that we pay attention to that. I don't know why we don't have 300 people in this room. I'm just kidding. It's because nobody knows who you are. Alright. So, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this gun mount on the attack bike. Hopefully. Finagle this into position. Does not want to stay. You may have to support the bottom of the platform to get this gun mount in there because it wants to bend. Make sure, like anything else, you look at it from different angles so you don't screw yourself over. once your working time on your crazy glue is good, go ahead and add a little bit more. Get that thing solidified in there. Alright. Instead of going straight to the guns, I'm going to go ahead and put the helmets on. And what I like to do is, again, just for a little bit of flair, I like to turn the heads in, you know, all just random alternating directions to give it a little, you know, so they just have a little bit of, you know, they're just a little bit different from each other. And it's real simple, one left, one right. Takes nothing at all. You may want to tilt their head back some so it looks like they're looking up and not necessarily at the ground. Some of them do, some of them don't. It's just completely up to you. Sometimes when they're looking down, it gives it a more, I don't know, heroic kind of look to it, I guess. Like he's, you know, eyeing something he's ready to attack. Maybe he's ducking a bullet or something. Since Space Marines have superhuman strength, they can do that. I mean, superhuman senses or whatever. Supposedly. Enough of them seem to die, though, that they must not use that skill. But, you know, just do some little alternating head move. That's all you really got to do. Instead of just putting their head straight on, like all of them straight on. The question is, can you override your OCD if you have it? But all this is to give those fairings time to dry, because it's going to be a tight fit and you're going to have to force the guns in there. And like I said, it still may come off. It's not held on by much, I'll tell you that. So what I do now is I take the glue and let's see if I can highlight it for you. Right in here is basically the handlebar, okay? And all I do is put two spots of glue there. Now you could put glue out here on the fairing as well because of where the gun magazine rests on here, but it's not necessary, and you risk a very tight area of putting glue here that you're going to have to try to remove, you know, later if you want a crisp, clean finish. If you don't care, you want to call it weathering or whatever, then it doesn't matter. So just 2 drops there. Grab my bolter, slide it in until it connects, and then rotate it down. And that's all I need to do. Now, the other thing that you will need to do is, once you have these in here, and this is another reason why we wanted to wait for this to dry, is you got to go back you got to go back and reposition your bolters so that they're, you know, they're even and symmetrical. Okay, then you want to again look at it, you know, from the front and make sure that your bolters are lined up with one another as best you can. Now you can only push down so far because again, if you take a look right here, the magazine rests up against the fairing. So if you try to push down too hard like I did, then what ends up happening is you end up pushing the barrels in on themselves. So don't do that. And we'll do that for all the rest of them. Tight fit on that one. That had me worried for a minute. Like it was gonna break the fairing out. Yep, this one's tight, man. Guess you heard that click. And check my spacing. I haven't, not really, no. I can. I'm not even really on the orcs page anymore, but I think the orcs page, I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm kind of old, you know, now after 2 days. But I think the same guys who made the orc page make all the rest of them. And I've put out there, you know, the channel and stuff, so you know, we'll see what happens, I guess. But it feels weird, you know, like I'm self-serving, if that makes sense. Man, I am really looking forward to playing with this army. Not because they're necessarily overly powerful, because they're not, but just to have fun running around the board on motorcycles. No, absolutely, bro. Definitely. Please do. Please do. I mean, you know, this one's obviously probably, this one and the one before are probably the better ones. But yeah, definitely, dude. I mean, I would really appreciate that. I mean, I don't know how, you know, how much people want to sit and do this with me, but probably if you put like maybe your experience or something and said, you know, it was like I was hobbying together with him or something. I don't know. That might work. You know what I wish, though? There was some way for me, you know, rather than with my eyes down here, that I could look at, I don't know, like maybe the chat would be a little bit better. I'm kind of like out of the corner of my eye hoping I'm going to see, you know, when the thing scrolls up. But if my eyes are too low, I don't see it in time. So... And I know when there's a bunch of people, it's probably not going to really matter, you know, because you can't respond to everybody, you know, but, you know, assuming that I get that popular. But, I'd like to try. It's like, man, I'm watching this idiot put plastic together and he ain't even talking to me. What the hell? clown world. Right on. All right, all the bolters are on there. We're looking good. Starting to look like a model, right? Let's turn the stuff around, see if that helps. Looks like we got a little Space Marine force there, eh? Well, get my wife to help with what? You lost me. Oh, like, hey, somebody said something? Yeah, I could, but I mean, you know, with the 2 babies and stuff like that, I don't think it's going to be a viable option anytime soon. You know, I mean, probably not until Danielle, you know, is at least running around like Scotty, and then that's going to be the other thing, the running around. The videos I've seen where they have their girlfriend or wife involved, they don't have any kids, so... I get a lot of support for her for this stuff, but you know, there's probably gonna be a limit at some point, I imagine. Plus, you know, we've got, like right now, you know, I'm really trying to hurry this up so I can jump off this stream because I've got things I gotta do for the kennel. So, but you know, such is life as a small business person. And I mean, I don't want to hurry up and get off. I just want to get this done. Because I'm sure that they need to OUT. But everybody's quiet, so everybody's probably sleeping at the moment, which is good. They had a pretty big dinner. And so I'm going ahead. Well, actually, I didn't want to do that. That's right. Lesson learned from the last bike that I put together is I want to put this fender on, this fender that goes on the wheel right here, prior to putting the guy in his seat, or the guy in the seat in here. So that way I can maybe try to finagle the fender the way I want it to be, and not so much where it looks like it's just, I don't know, just out there. It's a little better. I think it's just the way it's made, honestly. There's probably no way around it. But it was definitely easier to put on, I can tell you that. Nah, it doesn't want to. Shouldn't have messed with it. So what does your wife think about the minis? Okay. All right, brother. We'll talk to you later. Later. Get us a drink here. All right, so essentially the only thing we really have left is some decorations. Mainly, you know, these little flag poles, if you will, or banner poles, and we need to put, you know, the attack bike guy in there, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to finish him up, and then we're going to close this stream out. But for those of you that did not see earlier, this is your this is your finished result for the regular biker. And then for the attack bike, even though the picture doesn't show it, I went ahead and put a banner on him as well, because why not? And I took the ammo pouch and put it on the fender up here so I could maintain the Ravenwing symbol on the front fender. And then I also included, even though there's a little bit of a gap back here, it's no big deal, I included the backpack and everything on the back with the other ammo can, because, you know, rule of cool and all that. So let's get this guy done. For some reason we're not gluing down. So I didn't have this issue with my last one, but I'm having an issue this time with this model. For some reason it doesn't want to glue down correctly. So, oh, there it goes. So I'm gonna let that sit for a second. And then what I do is, to get the arm lined up, is I'll put the arms on loosely and quickly line up a gun like I'm doing right here to make sure that I've got the right angle. I'm not really into, I mean, you really can't avoid it in some ways with like the land speeder and stuff, but I'm not really into the gun being tilted up like this. I mean, it's just, you know, with the normal land speeder you really can't help it, unless you want to take the rail off, you know, this gun rail that it would, you know, look like it would move, you know, pivot and traverse on. But let's see here. I'm hoping that that's glued enough by now. So now I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue in here. Set that down in there just like so. I kind of already have an idea of where it goes from the other one, so that helps. And then barely, I know you can't see with my hand, which kind of sucks, but I just want it to just barely touch it like that. And now we have the placement. We take the gun off and we let it dry. One thing you'll need to be careful of though is the shoulders may be off kilter. All right, so you got to make sure that you don't do that, or while you're looking at it, and it'll fool you, especially if the model is turned over. All right, like right now, the way the camera is, it looks like everything's crooked, but it's not. It's straight. And then what I'll do is, just like we did before, we'll put a little dab right there in that joint on each side. And then put a little dab on the shoulder itself. And now we'll put the pauldrons on, because there's enough holding that, or should be, that it shouldn't be an issue. Although you run into the issue of if your pauldron slips down in there, but I mean, it's easy fix, as you just saw me do. Grab the other one. Now, one thing to remember that we haven't done is we still got some cleanup to do. I'm not going to do that on this stream, I'll do that off stream, but we've got, you know, the wheels need to be cleaned up, and I'm sure there's little things here and there, but definitely the wheels. And now we're going to put his head on. And I like having him looking off to the right, or his left rather, and the pilot of the tack bike looking the opposite direction. That way it gives it a little bit of theater, if you will. You may need to check back here to see if you've got a connection. If you don't, I wouldn't go crazy with trying to push it down. If anything, try to fill it in with some glue, or if you want to get green stuff, you could do that as well. Or if you just wanted to get something else to go there. But I mean, if you can get it to come down, you know, by all means. One of the ways that I do this, I think I've already mentioned this before, is I will use these clamps. But you're gonna, with this one, you're gonna have to be really careful because you don't want to bend anything. Nope, I went too far. I was trying to do it while I was getting in the camera. Sorry. Go, and then we'll just let that sit, although I think I might have just crushed his antenna on his head. Looks like I did, but we're already committed. We can fix it or replace the head with somebody else. Not a big deal, but for me, I didn't want that gap, so we'll let that sit. Sometimes you miss these things, it's just the way it goes. Alright, and then like I said, all that's left for these bikes is the trimming of the wheels and putting these banner poles on. Like I said, I've already shown you the finished product, so don't sweat it. We're gonna call this one a night, and I really appreciate everybody that tuned in. You know, enjoyed hanging out with you and talking and hobbying together. That's what this is all about. So until next time, guys, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.